Bruiser, you know Cal probably as long as anybody from a basketball standpoint. What's his mindset right now amid all this, both on the court and off the court stuff here recently?
I mean, he's just working, trying to get our guys more prepared in what we're trying to do. That's all you can do as a coach. So, John Calipari, he's been in this situation before. He's been coaching for a long time. And so he understands the circumstances and what we need to do and the mindset we try to get the kids back into. And some of the things, you got to keep the clutter out of your head because this is a place where you get a lot of clutter. So, it's about working and trying to figure out what we need to do to get us better and get us back on the right track.
What, from your eyes, just Saturday, what do you need to see to feel like this team's taking a positive step forward?
I actually thought we took a couple positive steps forward, even though we lost to Missouri, even though, and then LSU, I thought we did some things pretty good. For me, our details have to be more consistent. I think sometimes our details aren't consistent, and it shows in the game, and we go through periods in the game where we struggle. So we got to be better in our details as a team. I thought we were making some progress, and then we sort of took steps back. We did. Some of it is who you got in the game, who you don't have in the game, things like that, but our details have to be better and be more consistent within the game.
Do you mean by that just like approach the game plan and taking in what?
Yeah, knowing who we're playing, know what defense we're in, know what, those types of things like that. It only takes one person to break down. I think we struggle with that a little bit. And like I said, we have to be a little bit more consistent within the game and our details and what we're actually trying to do. And it hurts us at times. And we get behind, and now you're fighting back. I thought we had made some strides. We took a couple of steps back in the last couple of games, and it's hurt us. We've been a little banged up. That hurts a little bit also, too. I thought in the Alabama game, we got in foul trouble. That hurt us. But I think in the general, for us to really get much better, but we discussed that. I think we got to be a little bit better with our details within the game and what we're trying to do.
So is that attention to detail, is that the reason for the slow starts?
A little bit for the slow starts too is just miss. I think we don't take that in consideration when you're watching the game. I don't know how many of y'all guys go back and watch it afterwards. How many of y'all guys go back and really watch it afterwards? If you really go back and you watch it afterwards, you realize sometimes we're open and we miss. So we can talk about our offense and what we're doing, and then you go back and you watch it, and we're just missing.
But it seems to be a consistent problem.
Yes, you're absolutely right about that. We talk about that ourselves. We talk about that ourselves.
Even every time, or are they not prepared? Do they not have the right mindset going into the game?
I think we have a great mindset going into the game, but again, we miss a lot of shots, especially on the road. Not necessarily at home. Okay? I think the first game, South Carolina might have been the first game where we sort of didn't get a decent start at home. But on the road, we do miss it. We do miss. So we got to do a better job of just being focused. And sometimes they're good shots, just not making them. So, but at home, we're usually a little bit better than that. So we have to be a little bit better on the road in terms of what we're trying to do.
What is the status with Kaysen and Jacob?
They just day-to-day. So we'll see today. But they're just day-to-day at this point in time, I guess.
So questionable for tomorrow?
Yeah, I would say that.
What do you think the confidence level of the guys?
It's always hard, especially here, because it's like an avalanche if you lose now. You know how your guys get when they lose here. So, and those kids, they're kids. They know what's being said. But Cal talks about keeping your head up, keeping the clutter out of your head, and let's go forward. We're not 6-10. You know what I mean? And we still feel as though we're good enough to win some games. We just got to get better at certain things so we'd be able to win some games. We play some tough teams. We play some tough teams on the road. And so we haven't been able to win. So, the kids are going to be kids. We just Cal tries to keep their head up, talk to them about, moving forward and getting better at the things we need to get better at. And we think things will turn around.
Cal mentioned after the South Carolina game that he thought the defense would be better consistently all year. It's kind of taken a step back into a few halves lately. What's the key to getting back on track there? What have you seen from it?
Just like I keep saying, got to pay attention to the details. Bottom line is, it's all about the details and what we're doing. And it has slipped because our defense has actually been one of the more consistent things that we've done all season. But again, it goes back to the small things, and sometimes we don't do them well. And we got to get back to that.
What makes Tennessee so good defensively?
One, they got great size, and they're very physical. So, they got good size, so they take up a lot of space on the court. They're very physical. They've always been that way, even if they don't have great size. But they're very physical, so they make you earn not only every shot, but every catch. Just catching the ball, they make you earn it. So that's a big part of their game. If you get past the physicality, then it becomes a little bit different. But I like their size from watching them on film. To be a good defensive team, sometimes the size matters, your length, and they have that.
In your experience, when there is noise from the outside, can that rally a team?
Oh yeah. You always rally from within. If you don't, then you're in trouble. In the end, it's all about us anyway, and we enjoy the fans. But when it's all said and done, it's all about the team, and we can't let anybody come in and mess us up as a group. Everybody talks about the foxhole mentality. You know what I mean? That's what happens.
When you have like a losing skid like this, do you as coaches have to check in on guys more regularly?
Oh, yeah. Especially with Twitter, you know what I mean? And all that stuff like that. Because they read, you know what I mean? Let's be real, we in that world. So they read it. When I first started in coaching, you didn't worry about that. You know what I mean? Only time you saw the fans is with the game, they might boo you. They didn't have any. They didn't have something to say. 2 seconds after the game is over, and you could actually see it. So, but I mean, we talk about those types of things, and like I said, you get into the foxhole and you tell the guys, hey, don't get down, and actually, which I always say this because I didn't grow up with it. Turn your phone off. But I'll be honest with you, it's hard for this generation. It's hard. So, but I think our guys have handled it a little bit. But I mean, they know that. That's why you come to Kentucky, this is what you're getting.
How have you guys as coaches adapted as these generations change? You recruit and you coach different players and teach them. But like you said, there's some simple things that you grew up learning. Maybe sometimes they have trouble adapting to.
Well, I have kids, but she's a little older now, but you learn from them. That's one thing. So you learn from them a little bit. But, I mean, you see it coming. You have to adapt to it. You have to understand. I remember when we first started having cell phones, and they would bring them in the locker room, and they would go off during the game, before you get ready to play a game. And as a coach, you would go absolutely, positively nuts, right? One, like, what? But it's not them. It's somebody calling them because they don't care that we're getting ready to play in 10 minutes. You know what I mean? So just those types of things like that. But it's a big part of their lives now, so that's what it is. You want to communicate with them, you better have a phone. You better do all those things like that. So you just adjust with the times and what goes on. But you laugh at it because you came through in an era where didn't worry about that stuff.
Bridges, how have you assessed how in the past couple of games teams have started to attack Oscar on the defensive end a little more? Just how have you assessed how he has maybe grown or declined as a defender from last year to this year?
I'm going to put this to rest. They're not the first team that attacked Oscar. They're not the first or the last. They've been attacking Oscar since last year. He just expressed it to you guys.
Is there anything specific? It has worked a little more these past couple of games.
Not necessarily. I'm telling you, he just expressed it to you guys. We wanted to everybody tries to put Oscar in ball screens. Everybody does. Like we said, our defense has slipped a little bit, so it's not just Oscar. It's, we got to get ourselves together as a unit. But don't let anybody tell you that they came up with a plan to attack Oscar, because they all attack Oscar that way.
The Alabama game specifically on that, I mean, you and Cal got into him pretty good those first sessions.
I'm gonna say it again, all right? Okay? I don't want everybody to think that they came up with some game plan to attack Oscar, because everybody tries to attack Oscar in ball screens, and they do it to try to get him out of the game. Because they know if they get him out of the game, that's a huge loss for us. So last year, same thing. They put Oscar in ball screens. Honestly, basketball is played in ball screens. So like I said, our details have to be better. I talked about that. Our details have to be better. And that's part of it. And our details have to be better. That's why we haven't been as good on defense. Our details have to be better. And not just Oscar, there's other guys too. But we know going into a game, mostly everybody's gonna put Oscar in ball screens.
But some of them have been more successful at doing it than others.
Because they're better at it than others. Not
Is it
necessarily.
more because they're better at it? Or
Yes.
you weren't as good
No,
at it,
they're
but
better.
you
They
did?
may be a little bit better at it than us being in it. But everybody's going to put Oscar in the ball screen. I want y'all to watch that for the rest of the year.
The Alabama game, his decision-making when he got in those ball screens, obviously that was something that you guys did not seem to be pleased with.
No, we weren't pleased with it. But again, it goes back to what I talked about the details. And we've been inconsistent with our details and what we're doing. Because sometimes it's not just Oscar. Sometimes it's the guard getting over the screen. Sometimes it's the scheming of other people within what's going on in the ball screen. So our details haven't been good, and it's just not him. But like I'm gonna tell you again, you're gonna watch closely. They're gonna put Oscar in ball screens. They're gonna do that. Every team is gonna do that. So we just gotta be a little bit better at it.
Tennessee's 2 losses, they were out rebounded. Does that have to be a focus then?
Yeah, like I said, the one thing they have is great size, and they do a great job of rebounding the ball. I think one of the big things when you're playing them too also is when they're shooting a 3-ball. When they're shooting a 3-ball, they're hard to beat, and they've done a great job this year having great balance. I think in the games that they've lost or even their close games, they haven't shot in the 3-ball great. If we can do, keep make tough threes and keep them off the backboards, that would be that's great. But like I said, with their size, we know physically they coming in. They pretty much have 2 gigantic guys in there at all times. So we know we have to rebound the ball.
Obviously more opportunity with Casey now in this last game, Antonio, and past couple of games. How do you feel like he's gotten more comfortable just making decisions, when to score, and to help facilitate on ball?
He has gotten better. He's played a little bit better, but Antonio's thing is making shots. If he makes shots, he helps us. And he's done a better job of making shots. Within our offense, I think he's come a little bit more patient and not just coming out just really shooting, understanding what goes next, what comes next if you don't have a shot. I think that's been a big thing for him, and it's relaxed him a little bit. So he's been better with it.
Anything else for Bruce?
We good? All right.